Listen, before we get into these topics, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you are not already subscribed. Hit the notification bell. That's important because y'all need to stay up
Are
to
you
date
good today?
on all the episodes. Yeah. I'm just like going through them mad quick and shit like that. Like, yo, join the membership. Cop the merch, man.
You feel me?
And listen to the podcast audio every Tuesday, 6 a.m. Let me get to this first topic, right? It says, do you believe men and women are equal in relationships? What's your thoughts on this?
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I think we're all human, so we're equal. We deserve the same level of respect, love, care, honor. So I think in that capacity, we're equal. Do I think that we should be doing equal parts in the relationship? I think that that's where it gets a little dicey. Because I feel like, in the relationship, everyone has their own responsibilities specific to the relationship, not to the gender.
Okay.
I concur with that. I do. As somebody who's in a relationship, right?
Okay, you guys.
It's fresh.
So,
right? Yes, like we've kind of outlined.
Right, big one.
Yes, we've
Does
outlined.
he know y'all in a relationship? Because it sounds like you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I just because you sound a little hesitant.
I let the man lead. He got to tell me what's going on. I don't make no assumptions, no delusions over here. Okay, you got to tell me what you want. But yes, as a man, there's certain things that I would like him to do and responsibilities and obligations that is completely different as me as a woman, so we're separate but equal in a sense.
Yeah, I agree with both. I think that equality isn't the same as sameness. So even though we're equal, we're different, right? Women operate different, we think different, men do the same, they think differently, they operate differently. But I think that knowing your differences and respecting the differences between the two is what's really important when it comes to like relationships and being equal.
I'm a bit confused. It sounds contradictory, like, you know what I mean? It's like we're equal, but then you guys are reassuring us that, but we got different roles. Like, so how are we equal? Because we know biologically we are obviously different. You know what I mean? So, when you're talking about in a relationship, like what part do you think is equal, or what part do you think is different in a relationship?
Well, I think so when you're saying you're confused, like we're saying equal but different, that's just like the same way that, you might be, say whatever career you're in, you're making a certain amount of money, and then I'm in a different career and I'm making a different amount of money. We're still equal as people, but we're in different roles in our lives and in our careers. So I think if you're looking for like a way to sum it up, that's an example of just like how you're equal to your friend here, you're equal to us, but we're all doing different roles in lives.
So would you say men are equally just as nurturing as women in a relationship?
Yes,
they can be.
If they want to be.
Yeah. Okay. They can be. There's some women that aren't nurturing, and the man might do the nurturing in that relationship. But it really just depends on what each person in that specific relationship comes with. If I'm coming with 20% nurturing, I probably do need to find a man that's 80% nurturing. Versus, if I'm coming with 50% nurturing, I maybe only need a man that also has 50% nurturing. It may not be like necessary for him to have so much of that nurturing attribute if I'm already coming with a certain amount. But if I'm deficient in a certain area, I am looking for a partner to fill that area in the ways that I can't.
But then that's kind of not equal.
No, and I kind of agree to disagree with that. So I think that I speak for myself, I am a nurturing person. But I also need someone who's nurturing as well, because if I'm constantly being the one to pour out, who's pouring into me?
So he needs to be as equally as nurturing as you.
Yeah, I mean, there's not going to be a complete balance, but I think not that far of a difference. You said 80, like 20, like that's...
So you 100, he got to be like 80?
No, not necessarily, but just someone who is, if they're not naturally nurturing, they want to learn. They want to put in the work to try to get there because I'm like that.
Okay. I think we like that, the idea of people being equal, like, but I just don't think in a relationship people are equal. I think people are designed to have specific roles that complement each other, like, you know what I mean? So when everybody is equal, I just don't think it's possible for everybody to be. I think women have a certain specific role that they're biologically better at than men at, and then men, I think, have roles that are biologically just better than women when it comes to relationship, like, you know what I mean? I think those two come together and form a great bond that makes the relationship this compatible in a sense. So, you know what I mean? So it sounds good to, are we all equal? I know feminism is like everybody's equal, but I think it's good that, some people have different, I guess responsibilities or just different attributes that contribute to a relationship, and others have something different, that balance. So, you know what I mean? I think we lack that balance because we're too busy trying to find something to be equal. Like, you get what I'm saying? So,
Right.
what's your thoughts on this?
Nice. I don't know. In my experience, I don't think that the roles in a relationship is equal. I think from the beginning, the man is doing more in the relationship to make it work. You know what I mean? The woman just is being the one courted, you know what I mean? So she's really not doing much except, you know what I mean, looking pretty coming outside. You know what I mean? I'm going to pick you up, I'm taking you out on dates, I'm bringing you flowers. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So in that aspect, I don't think it's equal. When you get into the relationship, I guess she does a little bit more in order to keep her partner happy. But I still think that it still falls on the man too, because the man is the leader in the relationship. So you lead and she follows. So you still doing more at the end of the day, in my opinion.
So it's not equality; it's balance. It's
Yeah.
trying to find balance
Right.
in a relationship.
I ain't gonna. Does that sound like balance though? I mean, it sounds like men are.
Yeah, I'm a little.
It's a virgin. It's the what's the like it's what they paint as the version of balance, like for you, like because it's like in society relationships is more geared towards women, so society paints it as balance, but it's not really balance in reality.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, that's my first time ever hearing that relationships are geared towards women.
Yeah,
you don't think so?
No, I think that, especially, I mean, when you think about historically, men basically bought their wives as property, and they were purchased to do for the men. When it was time for decisions to be made, that was all done by the man in favor of the man's best interest. And then women bear children for men. So I think the idea, that's how it's been historically, I'm saying. Like, women we didn't even have rights. So I think the idea that relationships are geared towards them when...
I mean, since the beginning of time, men have been doing for women. Like, even in the caveman days, y'all stay home, they go out and risk their lives to hunt and get food and clothe you and everything. Like, that was for the women and the children. It's not.
What are they coming home to, though? The wife is staying at home and doing what?
Cooking the food that I just went out to kill. What you mean?
I mean, do you know how to cook? You want to kill it and cook it?
I'm pretty sure I could kill it and cook it myself. Yeah.
So you don't feel like women are a necessity?
That's insane.
No, I don't think he
the
feels
hesitation
that is a
is
necessity.
nuts.
I think you guys are doing a great job at flipping what he's saying.
What?
I do think you guys are doing a great job at flipping what he's saying. He's saying that he can initiate and do everything that you would need, but if he gave you a role to follow, that's the more suitable, safe one for you. And in his leadership, he said, okay, if I'm going to risk my life and go cook, and I meant to go hunt and put myself out there, I'm protecting you from everything else. We appreciate you being the cook or whatever role you're taking, but you gotta really, be happy that a man is making your life a little bit more easier.
That's true.
I have a question.
I acknowledge that.
Why do you talk about the role of a man as if it's a burden?
Why
are you not proud to be the leader, proud to be the provider?
I know, so I wasn't proud of it, but it's still a burden, though. Yeah. Just because I got to do it.
Because, we want to do this for our family and significant other, but it comes with a risk. That's always a burden. Like, anything that comes with a risk is going to be a burden. Not saying that we're ungrateful for it. And I think throughout society, like when I just think about it now, and you just said it, like I think men have more of a sense of duty when it comes to relationship and just society that I don't think women necessarily have. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, men, like you said, men, their purpose is to go out to protect and provide for the woman. Like, so there's that inherent duty there, like, you know what I mean, that I have. Like, when I think about women, I don't see any duty that you guys have
to serve your family.
To serve, but if the man didn't give you the family, who would you be serving?
To serve the man, family or not. You're serving in loyalty and what you're doing in the home and how you're caring for them.
Saying if you didn't have,
we make the house the home.
If you didn't have a man, if women didn't have a man or a family to serve, what will be their duty in society?
Serving their sis.
Right.
To take care of themselves in the same way that a man would be taking care of himself and protecting
that's
themselves.
Very selfish, though. Like,
If
How
a
is it
man
selfish
didn't,
if
if
we're
a
single?
man didn't have a family to provide and protect for, what would they be
He
doing?
would still be providing. He would have to look after his community. Like whether he had a girlfriend or a wife or a kid,
Gotta protect
he
his
still
mama.
You gotta protect your sisters, your aunt, your mother. Like that's
In
still
the
a
same
duty.
way,
gotta protect
women have to do
society,
that
like-
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have to
protect
We're
protect
still
ourselves.
raising our
Yes.
brothers or sisters. We're still caring for the elderly.
There's a lot of families
coming up with the book drives and the bake sales and all the stuff that y'all don't want to do. We are outside.
What don't men don't want to do?
I'm sorry?
I said, you said
You
the
say y'all
stuff
coming
that we
up.
don't wanna do.
Yeah, do you want to do the bake sale
Mhm.
for your
PTA.
kids?
But you doing
PTA?
that for who though?
Are you?
If you
The
don't
community.
have children.
There's children in the
community.
community. We're
Oh, so-
serving
so
the community as well.
Y'all here having bake sales for the community?
school supply
Yeah.
drives and coat
Yeah.
drives and things like that. It may not
Dance
be a big sale per se,
competitions. The
but
girls need clothes and we sew it up and we make designs for them and they want billboards and yeah, we're doing all that stuff.
Okay.
So
You guys brought up the fact that, back in history, whatever, the man took that role and the woman did this, right? And she was more nurturing. She had more time and effort to do that. Would you say that the financial gain of women has been the reason why modern women have an issue with relationships?
I think modern people have an issue with relationships.
I
I
mean,
don't think
men
it's a
are
woman
still
thing.
doing the
Yeah.
same.
the financial gain in what
Men are
aspect?
doing
As
this-
making more money?
Huh?
As
Mhm.
making money, making more
Yeah,
money?
because you said the only reason because you guys were bought, which I don't agree with. I mean, like men spent money or whatever the case may be, but you saying women were bought to be wives.
With the dowry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how
We're
the
talking
systems
about-
were at that
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Way before we were born.
But I'm saying now women
Mhm.
have freedom and they don't want to spend their money. They don't want to be affectionate. They don't want to be committed. They don't want to be nurturing. There's a lot of things where it's conflicted.
Okay, let me ask y'all. So, like the women that we're overgeneralizing right now, are
Mhm.
these just like internet, social media conversations you're basing these off of? Or these are real
I mean,
women
I
that
speak.
you know?
life.
I have.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know
real
women like that.
life.
What I'm
yeah.
saying,
Yeah,
I'm on a
I don't
show.
know any
I'm on a
women who
show,
are-
and I speak to 3 to 4 women
Yeah.
over 200 episodes. And when you ask these questions, I get looked at as the bad guy because I
Mhm.
might say like, "Yo, you shouldn't think like that. Men love you too," or
Yeah.
whatever the case
Yeah.
may be. I'm not saying this is you
Yeah.
that I'm describing.
Yeah,
I
but
also-
we have many women on the show tell us that they don't want to be married. You know what I mean? Like they would prefer to just be a baby moms and stuff like that. So like,
Really?
Yeah, that being a single, we hear all the time that being a wife, there's more responsibility to being a wife than it is to being just a mother. Like, you know what I mean? Which is why you see a lot more out of wedlock. Children being born out of wedlock. You know what I mean? Because they feel like being a wife is just more responsibility. Like, I'd rather just be a baby mom. Whether that's on purpose or not, it's just that you're just looking at marriage from a lens of it's a lot of responsibility. I'm not sure if I'm quite ready for.
I don't know if it's more responsibility. I guess it's a responsibility that they're not wanting to take on. Like, you know what I mean, I do it for my children. I'm not going to do it for a man. It's what it's what I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. As someone who was previously married,
Mhm.
I've gone through the marriage process. I've
You have
been
kids?
married for 5 years. Yes, I do have 2 kids.
Mhm.
I appreciate marriage. I wanted it. I
Mhm.
was a part of it, and I would do it again. I would absolutely do it again. I know in my heart I am better with a partner. I'm better with a husband than I am single.
That's
as a
great to
single
hear.
woman.
I appreciate you.
That's
for that.
So
beautiful
I
there.
do need that partnership in order for me to
Yeah.
thrive in life, to do better. I do need that masculinity in my life.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Absolutely.
I think just real quick, just to go back to the original topic, because when it comes down to equality, like between men and women, we was talking about relationships, but I think this is what happens. We had an episode with the transgender woman, and I think what happened even in the Olympics, what you're seeing now is that women are saying that a man can be a woman, or they're just as equal as a woman, so therefore they can compete in our sports. And now when they dominate those sports, now it becomes an issue. But like I always say, the biggest advocates for trans women have always been biological women. Those women are the ones who keep saying that men can be women. Like, you know what I mean? So now when they enter your spaces or they participate in the sports, now it becomes an issue. And you see that it's not equal. They have an advantage. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think, it sounds good in people's head, like, oh, we're all equal and we all have the same blah, blah, blah. But in reality, we don't. We're not all equal, and we have certain abilities and flaws that are there for a reason. Like, you know what I mean?
I think in the world, men and women are not equal. So I think that is something that's very clear. I think that's something we can all agree on. But I think within your relationship, you can decide what the dynamic is. Because if I'm in a relationship with someone who is, I'm not working at all, they're bringing home all the bacon and things of that nature, then the dynamic might be different if we're both millionaires. You know what I mean? When we can really go toe to toe for everything, where there isn't a big bank, take a little bank, because we both have a big bank. So I really think that, no, we're not. I don't believe that when I go out into the world that I'm equal to a man or a man is equal to me, nor do I think that the roles that we possess like in the world are equal in that way. But I think within my relationship and within everyone's relationship, you can decide how equal or how unequal you want to be. Some people don't want to be the person in charge and responsible or with the burden of doing this and that. And some people do. So it's just like the relationships that I have occupied up until this point, right now, I feel like they're as equal as they can be. And then obviously, you know, once to go further, once I'm a wife, once I'm, you know, a mom, there's gonna be a lot of changes in that dynamic. But yeah, in the world, no. But in your relationship, you decide how that is, just like your household.
All right. That's fair.